Hey everybody. You're probably hearing the air conditioning in the background. It may off cycle on and off and everything, so I hope that's not too much of a distraction. I want to share just a few things. I'm kind of trying to remember everything I just did. I just did this once, and it didn't turn out so good. So I hope it turns out good this time and for you. But I want to start with just some tips, and then I'm going to actually get into a little bit of the painting and just kind of show you the process that I'm doing, and talk a little bit about what you see here. But let me begin with something that's kind of oddball here, if you will. I had a cane given to me some time back, and I say sometime, I'm talking about years, but and I just decided one day to see how that would work for me. So I used to use a maul stick, and I'd put it up there and I'd rest my hand on it. But even the maul stick, you ended up putting too much pressure on a big canvas, or it would slide and move, and it could, you could be working on something that took you a long time, and you finally got it, and boom, you lost it. But I like this. I like this a lot because, one, I can twist it, and let me get a brush here, and I can, by twisting it, it locks me into place, and I can literally work real tiny areas, which I don't have to in the hair, but like if I had to work in the eye and that type of thing, I can work very, very meticulously. And so that's a good little tip. If you can find one of those, I'm sure you can. They can't cost that much, but never bought one before, so you just have to go find out. But nice little thing. If you got one around, put her to use. All right, I wanted to share before I throw any paint on here. Just want to share. I went to Staples. I'm sure you got a Staples somewhere in your area there, or a store that can do the same thing. And for about, I don't know, 11, 12 bucks, something like that, we got a color photo made at exactly 12 by 16, which is what this canvas is. And then you can go by side, and you can set with your ruler if you need to check your measurements as you're doing your drawings. And let me get this out of the way here. You can, see how you're doing in regards to placement of the various items in comparison. So it's kind of a sight comparison, and it really works good to get your likenesses, to get your placement and everything, so you don't have to worry about, once you have your drawing, it's established. Now, you may work totally different in a alla prima style where you don't have a drawing, you just block it in. I do that too, and I'll show that sometime. And it's a totally different approach. But if you want to be meticulous, and you want to have a drawing, and you want to work from this fashion, which this is more of a form painting. If you want to work in that style, more meticulous about drawing and so on and so forth, I like to do that. I call it color drawing, and more about the form, and I mean several turns of color, from like a dark, lighter, to light. You want to get that concern about that form, even in the tight areas like in the nose, and you want to get that. Then this would be your style. I like to work this way as well as others, but this is what I'm doing on this particular one. Now, as I work down, I will work looser, in the sense it'll still be tight, but I'll work with a larger brush, for instance. This is, I think, a number 10, number 10, and Filbert. And I'll work in larger brushes, and then come back and do tight detail and that type of thing. But so a lot quicker, as I would on a lot of paintings. But up here, I'm taking my time, and at times I'm working with a brush. This is a 0. I don't know if you can see that. Is it going blurry? Don't know. Well, anyhow, if you might be able to tell when I put it up against the canvas, it's very, very small. And see it with the nose, you can see how small it is. And it makes a great tip when you get paint in it. And I can work very, very tight with this. Very, very good. And it's a Monarch, by the way. You can get those at Hobby Lobby. And there's a plug for Hobby Lobby. I didn't get paid for these plugs, but anyhow, uh, it's a Monarch, and I like it. Very good. It's I'm trying to think of the. Go ahead, speak.
It's synthetic mongoose.
Yeah, thank you. It's a synthetic mongoose. I could not think of that. It's just one of those moments where you went blank. But they was worried about talking back there, but I appreciate them stepping in. It is a synthetic mongoose, and it is. These are really nice brushes. I really recommend them. Okay. So I recommend this. It doesn't cost that much. It's really and you can't. Your eye doesn't divert. Like if you're looking over the computer monitor, and I have that problem here, I have to turn my head almost to 90 degrees to see what I'm about to paint or draw, and then by the time I get back here, I don't. I don't have that information gets mixed up, or my eyes begin to accept something that's wrong as though it's right, and I find that happens less when I have it side by side. I can sit there and look at it side by side and realize that between this one little line and this little hair that's kind of marked there with some umber, that it's only so wide, and I can even do take my brush and kind of get a measurement on that and see, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm looking about the same, and so on and so forth. But it's right here, quick, just pat, pat, pat. Your eyes are barely moving, and this is one of the best ways, I think, to approach your drawing. And I'll tell you right now, you'll see me doing a lot of this right here. And maybe on, by the way, you saw the other video, you saw a previous ink in of this. I wiped that thing. I just said forget it. It was not working for me. And if something don't work, start over. You can either wipe the deal. I actually went to another canvas and said I'll do something with that other one at another date, and I just didn't feel like messing with it anymore. It became too tedious to try to make some corrections and whatnot, and I said I'll forget it. Went to a nice linen canvas, and which I'm doing this painting on right now. And so, but as I say, maybe on another one we'll do with the charcoal, you can see we'll actually show you as we do the process, the marking it out, and kind of get an idea for where things are. Because once you know where that nose is, that mouth is, that chin, where the eye, and you know that's it. You know the tilt of the head. You've got all that, then all of it just starts falling in place, and there's less, I guess the right way to say it, less thinking about it. But all right, let's paint. How about that? Let's show you some paint. What I'm going to do is get my handy cane right here. I'm going to raise some cane, and I'm going to work an area here. I just want to. By the way, I mentioned I want to mention a blue green by Masters Touch. Turquoise, I believe in Winsor Newton or Grumbacher. I can't remember now for sure, but I recommend this. It's by Masters Touch, and Hobby Lobby has it. It's not one of the main brands I normally get. I usually get Winsor Newton, but I tried this out and I just absolutely love it. You want to make some great, when you have your shadows that lean to a blue or a green, that stuff's awesome. And again, Masters Touch. That's another plug. I ought to get something for that, don't you think? I'm just talking. I'm just having fun. All right, let's. I'm just going to show you a little bit of what I do here. Now, I usually just get a little bit of this blue, and because I see a little bit of that in there, and I'm going to get almost a black. Not quite, but it's almost. And all right, and I'm going to work this area right here, and as you'll see right now, and this isn't the face, but I just spent time knocking this side down. Basically, what I mean by that is killing the edge, softening it, and this edge here, as you can see it, I wanted it to. I'm trying to be careful not to mark this thing. I'll turn this over. I went I wanted it to recede back into shadow, and it took a little work, but after a while I felt very good about it. And what I'm wanting to do right now is, because I'm lining this up, I want to get a little more on my brush there, because I don't quite have enough. Alright, I want to right about there. This comes back at an angle. And I'm constantly balancing back and forth between my painting and the photo that I have, the picture I have right next to me here. And I'd like to go a little darker on that, and I want to. Right about in here. There's not a lot of light there, and I want to capture that as it makes the turn right there. And now my brush is kind of played out, and so what I'm doing is I'm actually blending a little bit of this that was already on there. And I want to give this a little bit whiter earth over here. So I'm pushing some of the paint that's I just laid on there. And I want to kill some of this right in here, because I'm seeing that. There's a shadow right there. Alright. And I'll be working this probably several times. I feel like this area is just a little bright, so what I'm doing is I'm cutting it down just a little. Just the edge, it's still there, just don't want it to stand out so strong. I'm very satisfied with that. Now I am going to actually use some turp to clean my brush off just a little bit. And now that I like to go back and look at a comparison and just see what I'm going to do. Now I'm not too worried about all the color, hair color right now. I'm going to be mixing up but I'm going to be putting my background in here, which is very dark, as you can see. And that'll help me judge these values in here a lot better. I think that's probably what I'm going to do, is just a little more right here. Get a little more of this, and I'm going to cut right here, this area, just a little more angle. And this right there. Just little things. Now, when I put the hair colors in there, that'll. But this is basically how I've been working, even with when doing the flesh tones. I've been working small areas and getting all this knocked out, and I'm going to do that with this. But when I get down here, this will go a lot faster, bigger brushes, and I won't be working so meticulously. I thought this might be of help to you. And again, great thing about it is when you're in this position right here, is like I said, and I also have a shorter one of these. It's right now it's being borrowed, but actually I think it belongs to her, but I've borrowed it and she borrowed it back, so you know how that goes. But you can sit there and you can play and you can test your drawing, and I've done that. I did that over and over and over before I ever even started to actually putting color in there. And I think it's coming out pretty good, and I hope this was a tip that helped. And I'll come back, and when we get a little further along, and I'll show you how some of the colors we mix possibly, and who knows what else, just maybe some of the application. And I hope this has been a help. Don't forget to go to mbstudiosart.wordpress.com. I'll see you there.